Hi guys! In this video, I will talk about maximizers and satisficers. First, I will briefly explain what the differences are between maximizers and satisficers. Secondly, I will talk about two articles that I read, which are about how choices affect happiness in maximizers and satisficers, and how culture influences an individual's decision making. So, what is maximizers? They love to seek for the best possible outcome, just like they want the best thing of the world. They like to compare decisions with other options. They will spend lots of time on information search, like searching online or asking peers advice. But after all the effort they put, they will feel unhappy or regret with their decisions. Let me give you an example. Jeff wants a new car because his original car has low fuel economy. So his first buying criteria is fuel efficiency. Second is SUV. Third is price, which is not over 33,000. So he Google search a lot, spend days on searching. The problem is he keeps looking at negative reviews of the cars, so he doesn't want those cars that he looked at. His friend tells him that there is no perfect car in the world, just buy a car that meets your criteria. Another problem shows up. He went to a couple of dealerships to test drive some SUVs. He realized that there are too many options. It is very difficult to choose the best one. Eventually, he bought a car but already started feeling unhappy about the fuel efficiency of the car, feeling some degrees of regret. Let's talk about satisficers. They accept good enough situations. They move on after decisions are made. They are less likely to experience regret. They spend less time on information search, and they feel happy with their decisions. Let me show you another example. When you want to get a cat, you would go to an adoption center and find a cat that wants you to be its owner. You as a satisficer would not care about its breed or color. After owning the cat, you find that the cat misbehaves a lot. As a satisficer, you will not regret and think, I should have get the other cat. This is because you are happy and satisfied already having owning a cat. Let's move on to the first article. Maximizing versus satisfying happiness is a matter of choice. It had 4 studies done and had 1,747 participants. First study was about the researchers gave questionnaire to participants in order to measure the scale of maximizing, satisfying, and regret. Questions were set up by 4 factors: regret, life behavior, shopping behavior, and standards of things. After people done the questionnaire, the researchers found that maximizers are significantly less life satisfaction, happiness, optimism, and self-esteem. They are significantly more regret and depressed than satisficers. Also found that maximizing tend to be more logical and objective than satisfying. Perfectionism also relates to maximizing. People would have a higher standard and be less happy with their choices and expectations. For the second study, researchers measured the relations between regret and social comparison associated with the maximizers. Also examined consumer behavior of the tendency to engage in product comparison, social comparison, counterfactual thinking regarding purchases. The study found that participants who are scoring high on maximizing are more likely to end up with regret and less satisfaction regarding their purchases. Researchers found out that counterfactual thinking is related to their general regret reported by maximizers, as well as the consumption-related regrets. Maximizer could be living in a complex and conflict life because they like pursuing the best thing in life. In general, individuals who have low self-esteem would like downward social comparison in terms of gaining happiness. On the opposite, individuals who have low self-esteem would feel more regret and less happiness when approaching an upward social comparison. However, the emotional impact of social comparison is difficult to predict because both upward and downward comparisons have positive or negative effects on each individual. In Study 3, researchers hypothesized maximizers are more sensitive when comparing to peers and be more vulnerable when self-evaluating. This study is a little bit different from Study 2. This study used a more direct manipulation of social comparison information, which involved a real-life peer, and it examined the actual effect of social comparison information provided by the situation. For example, researchers asked participants to solve anagrams at whatever rate they were capable, but manipulate the ostensible performance of an undergraduate peer so that the participants experience relative success or relative failure. Participants also need to rate themselves with their current mode and anagram solving ability, both before and after the anagram solving task. After all, maximizers are the most fluctuated side compared to satisficers. The test has supported researchers' hypothesis and shows that maximizers have more impact from social comparison than satisficers. Those maximizers are affected by faster peers significantly. Those satisficers who participate in the study, they showed a little concern about comparing with a faster peer. For the final study, researchers invite people to play the ultimatum game in order to investigate people's actual decision-making behavior, satisfaction from the decisions, as well as the degree of regret. Between each round, participants were asked to rate were they satisfied or unsatisfied with the round. For those who might not know what is ultimatum game, for example, there are two people. Subject A gets $100. He or she must offer some split to Subject B. Subject B can accept or reject the offer. If Subject B rejects, nobody gets any money. Interestingly, researchers found there is some interaction between gender and maximization, because in the ultimatum game, male maximizers made smaller offers than male satisficers. Yet, female participants have fewer relation with the maximization score and the number of the offers. Overall, the maximizers are feeling less satisfied with the results than the satisficers. Let's move to the second article. The Tyranny of Choice, a cross-cultural investigation of maximizing satisfying effects on well-being. The researchers gave out the same questionnaire from Article 1. There were 263 Central Western European, 307 Americans, and 218 Chinese participated in this research. In this article, researchers hypothesized different cultures would be different in maximizing, degree of well-being, and level of regret. For example, they hypothesized there is a relation between maximizing and well-being in Western society, and non-Western society have lower effects on maximizing and perfection. Overall, Europe and the US society have a similar degree of well-being, maximizing, and regrets. China has a less significant relationship of well-being, maximizing, and regret comparing to Europe and the US. Freedom of choice and culture has a direct impact on people's well-being and maximizing. In conclusion, maximizers and satisficers are very different in terms of buying behavior and their well-being. Maximizers want to thrive more because they are highly involved in the situation. Satisficers want good enough things and basic needs because they have lower involvement in the process. Moreover, different culture could affect people's decision, the level of well-being, and regret. The less freedom of choice, the less maximizing they are. The more choices maximizers have, the harder it is for them to decide. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching.